What is up everyone, it is Sajambi and welcome back to another video. Grace's main branch has received a new update, so to keep you in the loop of all of the new entities, let's get to part 2 of our Grace entity guide. Since our last entity guide on the main game, plus some early additions to the test branch, there have been plenty of new additions. These originally came from the test area, but have now made their way to the main version through modifiers or new modes. In this video, we will go through all those which you can find as of April 2025, showing you what they look like and how to beat them. We will begin with a recap of the two entities which we have already covered in the previous entity guide. Litany acts as a prolonged dozer encounter with at least 3 eyes which you need to look out for, since this is when the entity becomes active. It will appear on screen, and once its eyes open, you need to either crouch or slide to avoid an instant end. Extra modifiers can add eyes to Litany for a more frantic encounter, but if you can incorporate your slides in with your usual runs, then disruption will be minimal. Doppel spawns in partway through the round and mirrors your position with a delay of around a second or so. When making progress, this won't be so much of an issue, but if you need to get into a safe zone or need to backtrack, this is where Doppel becomes a threat. If you and Doppel make contact, this will turn your screen black and white and your controls will be flipped for a short period. So while it's not lethal by itself, Doppel can be frustrating and will take precious seconds off the clock. The blue face of Cuckoo is up next, where your use of items is key to surviving this one. When active, Cuckoo will initially appear on screen showing a number. This relates to how many seconds until the entity actually takes effect. Time will then tick away, and when it hits the number previously shown, you must unequip all items. Failing to do so will result in instant death, so while this will leave you in the dark for a couple of seconds, you can continue on shortly after. When Rue is activated, it also spawns after some time has elapsed in the level. It appears from behind and tracks you down, killing you once it is close enough to make contact. When making progress, Rue's indicator will be ahead of you, initially as a small white circle when Rue is far away, but grows as it gets closer and becomes red as Rue is about to make contact. To stave off Rue, you need to look back to halt its movement, with it being slow to move once you look away, allowing you a short window before it closes in again. Alternatively, you can flash Rue, which temporarily removes it from play, however, Rue can still return later in the run. The rodent Doombringer becomes a consistent threat once this one is active, taking up an inventory slot which you need to monitor in order to avoid an instant end. After the round has begun, Doombringer will sneak into your inventory and will begin to become enraged. It will scream if you hold it, but you can also see this when unequipped, since the inventory box will shake and turn red. To stop Doombringer from exploding, you need to equip and interact with it to close its mouth, giving you time to advance. Doombringer repeatedly becomes enraged throughout each round, making this a constant threat which can leave you in the dark. On top of these modifier entities, there's 2 further additions which came into the retro mode. One is present throughout the mode, while the other was brought in at the same time but can be added in any mode of the game. Zombies are the main entity that you'll find in the retro mode of Grace, appearing in every other room. They mostly appear on their own, but if combined with a breaker room, then they can spawn in hordes of up to 5 zombies. Upon spotting a player, zombies will slowly make their way over to you and deal 10 to 15% damage per hit if close enough to make contact. Don't worry too much about your health though, since it does regenerate. The easiest way to overcome them would be to shoot them with your pistol, where a single shot is enough to kill them. Alternatively, you can simply run past zombies since they are slow enough to skate past. Our final entity for this video will be Epic Duck. It's essentially a reskinned version of Goatman, with its starting point a long way from the player before it moves closer and eventually kills on contact. Once again, there's 2 main ways to outlast the duck. The first will be to continually make progress away from where it's approaching from. It slows down as it gets closer to you, so after a while you are quicker than it if directly running away. Eventually though, you'll be forced to wait in a safe zone where you'll need to flash the duck to send it back. This partially resets the duck to a further position away, giving you time to wait for another entity or make progress without needing to look back. That's everything I have for you in this video. Best of luck with these new entities, and let me know what you think the best new addition to the game is. I'll be back with more once the game receives more entities in the main game and test branches. But for now, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay notified with my uploads. See ya!